Grania, it's so lovely to be here with you today and to be talking about the retreat that's coming up in April.
Mhm.
And this will be our first retreat together. And I'd love people to understand a little bit more about who you are and your passion for this work. What lights you up?
Thanks, Sarah. Lovely to talk with you today. And well, also just to say that I have known of you for many, many years in our craniosacral circles. So it was lovely to do some pre and perinatal training last year with you, and now to collaborate for our own retreat together. So yeah, so that lights me up to share this work with somebody who is as equally passionate about this particular territory. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and that lights me up. I also love working with groups. It's one of my favorite things to do. This constellation that forms that's unique within every group really interests me. The group dynamics, the constellations, what emerges individually and collectively within a group. All of that really excites me and uh, interests me and holds my curiosity. So the pre and perinatal area I got into, well, I'm a therapist since 2003. And so I started off in reflexology and kinesiology and trained in yoga teacher training. And then I was introduced to Karuna, and I did Core Process Foundation psychotherapy training. And in that, they did Kumye, which is a movement practice, an embodied movement practice. And core process psychotherapy itself is quite an embodied psychotherapy model. So that really shifted me from, it brought in a whole other layer into my awareness, this embodiment, which, you know, has really deeply informed my work since. So from that, I did the Kumye training and I did the craniosacral training, and uh, and then that opened up the whole pre and perinatal world, and I ended up doing a pre and perinatal womb surround training as well. So embodiment, really bringing our awareness into our body, allowing our history of our body to be met in a safe way, revealing the unconscious territory that's held in the body. All of that ignites my interest and my passion.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's for me has been deeply transformative. It is the embodied work that has changed my life for the better, more so than any other modality that I've ever practiced in or received through my career, really.
Well, actually, Grania, it's really, really touching me, I have to say, to hear about your story and your journey.
Mm.
Because even though there's a part of me that's a bit like a kind of a naughty schoolgirl, and is saying, "Oh, but I heard about it in the '90s," you know. But there's just a part of me like that. But it's like we've been on parallel journeys in a way, you know, exploring in our own way, in our own fields, in our own way, these incredibly important themes. And
Mm.
that's in a way something that is so exciting to collaborate about, because in this forthcoming retreat, I think we spoke quite a bit, didn't we, about what would be the topic or what would be the way that we would communicate and share about this. And
Mm.
the theme, nourishing the roots of our being, is such an important title for me,
Mm.
because as you say, it's the process of embodiment, it's stepping into who we really are. um, that's something that is so tender for me, the who we really are, without all of those, you know, conditions or thoughts about who we are. It's about who we really are.
Mm.
You know, will the real Grania stand up now, please? Will the
Mm.
real Sarah come forward,
Mm.
who has always been, you know, radiant, alive,
Mhm.
and perfect isn't quite the word I want, but always complete and whole.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and there is that sense of the roots of our being. Like we need to come to that really safe, grounded place in order to be able to meet these obscurations that have obscured us from the truth of who we are. So that's what these embodied practices are about, and about coming back to the roots of our being through pre and perinatal awareness, and really building up resilience and resource in our being, in our body, to be able to meet these patterns in a safe, paced, contained way. And celebrate who we truly are as well.
Yes, and to sort of translate that for people who may not have not have some of the jargon that we're so familiar with. I suppose what I'd like to say around this, nourishing the roots of our being workshop. Who is it for? Why might people be attracted to it? My understanding of what it will, everybody will be welcome. Anyone who's been born is extremely welcome to arrive and be held and be welcomed by us in this gorgeous circle, by the others that will be there too. And the key to it, as you're saying, is looking through the lens at our life through that pre and perinatal understanding. And what does that actually mean? Because I know that some people say, oh, well, I haven't had a baby, or I'm not into babies, I'm not into pregnancy, so it's not for me. But as we said earlier, it's for anybody.
Exactly.
Anybody that has been born. And the thing that I found so revealing and satisfying as in terms of using that as a lens is often we kind of, what I say, Velcro different thoughts about who we are because of what happened to us. And it's not about us. It's about what happened to us, what other people may have felt when we were in the presence of other people. But it wasn't necessarily about us. And that's what I find so dynamic about this work. And I think why we share this passion is because nothing's set in stone, is it? It's like, and that's what we can explore together on the beautiful retreat, isn't it? How we can reform and reframe the very core beliefs about who we are.
Yeah, exactly. And what's fascinating is that our body remembers. So your mind doesn't remember, your conscious awareness doesn't remember. From like I have very little memory really from probably under the age of 4, but my body remembers. And so then when I come into this container of the intention of meeting pre and perinatal patterns, my body tells the story. Like the story emerges from a deep knowing in my body around what my history was from those early years. So it brings the shadow into the light. It brings the unconscious into the conscious, and then that gives us a sense of agency around what is what we just unconsciously do over and over again. And we can then pause and notice it and resource ourselves in that. And we can heal right the way back to before these patterns were formed, which is just absolutely fascinating and so exciting. Like that, our lives can be so much more joyful and more available to us to live more fully when we meet these patterns.
Yeah, I mean, just to pick up on 2 words that really kind of jumped out at me of what you said there, Grania, is this idea of joyfulness. And I have to confess I'm a little bit naughty, as in I bring quite a lot of humor to this situation because, trauma is something I think we hear a lot about on YouTube and God knows where. And some people might even dread, coming to explore themselves for fear that it'll be too this or too that. But I have a sense that together that the key focus is on resource. And it's on that joyfulness, and it's on turning things around so that within the safety of the space, we don't have to go there. We don't have to rehash something. It's like going to the roots of our being to find that fluidity, to find that source, if you like, of nourishment that perhaps wasn't available in the beginning. So yeah, that's the invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well named, Sarah. Yeah, because there is such an awareness around trauma, and it can be almost like a buzzword nearly. So yeah, I'm all about resourcing and nourishing that inner resilience, that inner resource, and really bringing all this sense of safety and nourishment. And then the story just unfolds in a way that is within the ability of each person to meet. So nothing is overwhelming. And that's a big, actually massive part of our work, to keep somebody safe within the revelation of their history, that nothing becomes overwhelming, that you don't go into those fight flight patterns, that you know that we're offering enough safety, enough resource, enough pace, a slow pace, in order for things to come up in that container. So it isn't actually traumatic, it's actually very deeply healing, and like the oxytocin levels, like that sense of like connection and union and communion, all of those things. It's so beautiful, the container that it's held in. So it actually isn't about trauma, it's about reconnection, it's about love, it's about all of those things, joy, really.
In quite a lovely area and quite a lovely location as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've chosen Glendalough Sanctuary because I have to say, actually, all honouring the two people that run place have such a glorious welcome, such a lovely way about them. So I'm trusting with my heart that this is absolutely the right place for us to host this first retreat. And it's in not too far away from the trees and not too far away from Glendalough itself. So there will be access there. And yeah, we can get into the details of all of that. But yeah, that's where I'd like to end for the moment, is really to welcome people to just to notice what happens when they perhaps read what's on offer, read some of the words, listen to some of the chat that we're having now, and to hold with tenderness if there is some resistance or some little bit of a wobble about something, because all of that might be part of the prenatal story that's already showing itself. And the fact that people are nearly listening to this or have already looked at the flyer or something. So yeah, just there's a magnetism with this work, and we really invite everybody listening to just open their heart to new possibilities and seeing this as one step on the path to moving forward with joy, with deeper resources.
Yeah, beautiful, Sarah. Yeah, trust that pull, and we are available as well. So if there's any questions anybody might have, do please feel free to send an email. Very happy to respond in any way. Great, thank you.